As we step into the new year 2025, there are definitely some people we should have left behind in 2024. Seriously, what is he even doing? Of course, the obvious first pick would be Vex Bolts. If you're not familiar with that whole TikTok drama, don't worry, it's honestly pretty dumb. But there's another person I truly believe should have stayed in 2024, and that's Ice Spice. Now, if you've been keeping up with my channel or just Ice Spice content in general, you'd know most people agree that her music is just plain bad. From her cringy lyrics, which honestly don't even need explaining, to the fact that every song basically sounds the same. And let's not forget her questionable behavior overall. It's hard to see the appeal. The thing is, after her record-breaking success in 2023, where she had multiple songs on the Billboard Top 100, her numbers have been dropping fast. And I'm not talking about a slow decline over time. I mean rapidly. Back in her prime, she racked up over 40 million monthly listeners. But now, she's lost more than half of that audience. Sure, that's still a huge number compared to other artists, but the way things are going, it's hard to say how much longer even that will last, given how quickly she's fading.
The fall-off of Ice Spice needs to be studied because this is crazy. Last year around this time, she was the most poppin' artist on TikTok, and that meant that she was the most poppin' on Spotify as well, because all these people would listen to her viral songs on here and then go on to Spotify to listen to her some more. And I already know people are going to be like, oh, 60 million monthly listeners is not falling off or whatever. But you need to remember, this is someone who at one point had 30 million, maybe even 40, 50 million. And you can see her latest song right there, Give Me a Light, got 8 million streams. Look at everything else that she was dropping before.
I think it's safe to say that 2024 was definitely not Ice Spice's year. Somehow, she even managed to slide her way into Fortnite with her own custom skin and emotes. And let's be honest, nobody liked it. I couldn't find a single positive review or post about it. Reddit was flooded with people bashing it, with comments saying things like, Ice Spice should have never been in Fortnite. She's literally a symbol of self-degradation, moral bankruptcy, and over-sexualization. Things that shouldn't be promoted, especially in a game rated 13+. And honestly, they're not wrong. I'm not even going to describe the kinds of things she's known for, like her so-called signature move. But let's just say it's far from appropriate. It's wild when you think about how many truly talented and respectable artists are out there. Yet Fortnite decided to collaborate with her. It's honestly embarrassing. Clearly, this person is totally a fan of Ice Spice and just loves the idea of more skins for her in the game, but seriously, it's a joke. To be real, Ice Spice just couldn't catch a break in 2024. Whether it was hate on Reddit, TikTok, or Instagram, the entire internet seemed to unite with one message: her time was up. People even joked that she had melted. And here's the thing. If Ice Spice wasn't such an unlikable person, constantly getting into public feuds with other creators like rapper Nicki Minaj or TikTok creator Mads, the hate probably wouldn't be as extreme. But her awful personality gives people a reason not to feel bad for criticizing her. I mean, reports say that in one of her most recent controversies, she lost 500,000 followers in just 12 days. That says a lot.
My God, y'all gotta get in here and check this out. Ice Spice must have really pissed y'all off because she done lost 540,000 followers in the last 12 days on Instagram. Yesterday alone, she lost 8,000 followers. Now, this entire situation is literally also crazy, and it's coming shortly after Cleotrapa did a story time on TikTok detailing why her and Ice Spice are no longer friends. To be honest, Ice has been relatively quiet regarding the situation. I mean, she did do a little Twitter spaces about it, but she didn't really say much.
Losing 500,000 followers is absolutely insane. Like, no way. Over 500,000 of her fans just collectively decided within about a week that they didn't want to support her anymore. That's wild. And let's not forget, this massive drop in followers comes right after her monthly listeners basically got cut in half, dropping from 40 million to under 20 million. That's exactly why I'm saying Ice Spice should have been left behind in 2024 along with Vex Bolts. And honestly, it's no surprise that 2025 has barely even started, and it's already shaping up to be her worst year yet in the music industry. But before we dive into what's been going on in 2025, there's still one major issue that has played a big role in her downfall, and it's still affecting her now. That issue is her weight loss.
Breaking news, this is a new picture of Ice Spice, and she looks like she's gotten a little skinnier. I hope this is not an Ariana Grande situation because it's starting to look like it. Looking kind of sick at this point. But all right, I guess if that's how she wants to look, that's how she wants to look.
Now, before we continue, let's be clear, people should look however they want to look. Whether someone is fat, skinny, or anything in between, it shouldn't matter. But when you're a high-profile celebrity whose entire career revolves around your image and constantly showing off your body, people are naturally going to talk when you drastically change your appearance. It's the part of yourself you've marketed the most. In Ice Spice's case, when her music is already widely criticized, her physical appearance was really the only thing keeping people interested. So, when she suddenly lost a noticeable amount of weight, making her less attractive in the eyes of many, people started losing interest and stopped supporting her. Now, most of the posts I see online about Ice Spice are people comparing her to how she used to look, saying she looked better before, or people simply asking, what happened? Some are even saying she looks sick or unwell. This viral post from a user named Creepy on Twitter is just one of countless examples with a caption that simply asks, what happened to Ice Spice? The only explanation that really makes sense is that she probably wanted to be healthier. I seriously doubt she would willingly make a change like this, knowing it could damage her career. But now that we've covered that, let's talk about why 2025 is already shaping up to be one of the worst years of her career. On December 31st, leading into January 1st, Ice Spice was scheduled to perform at a New Year's Eve festival called Wildlands. But as this clip shows, she was actually booed off the stage. Getting booed off stage at a festival where you're literally the headliner is wild. But honestly, I can't even blame the crowd for reacting that way. I'd be mad too if I paid hundreds of dollars for a ticket and the artist couldn't even bother to show up on time. Yes, you heard that right. Ice Spice was scheduled for a 30-minute performance, but she showed up 25 minutes late to her own set. That left her with just 5 minutes on stage before they had to cut her mic because her time was up. To make matters worse, reports say some fans traveled up to 6 hours and spent as much as $350 on tickets to this festival. That's beyond disrespectful to people's time and money. And it didn't help that when she finally got on stage, she barely performed and looked completely uninterested. If that were me, I'd be furious. Imagine dropping $350 and the artist doesn't even want to be there. Fans flooded the festival's Instagram, demanding answers. One person summed it up perfectly. She did one song, barely performed, sounded terrible, and then just left. The festival eventually responded, saying, "We understand that Ice Spice's delayed arrival caused some frustration. Managing a stacked festival means we must be firm with set times. We had a strict curfew of 12:30 and had to ensure Chaz and Status went on stage on time for the New Year's Eve countdown," which basically translates to, yeah, Ice Spice screwed us over too, and we won't be inviting her back. Now here's the best part, Ice Spice's apology. You'd think after all that, she'd be a little more sincere, right? According to a Yahoo article, Ice Spice said, "I'm sorry guys, surely y'all can forgive me. It was my birthday, and it takes a long time to look like a Barbie." That's it. Where's the rest, Ice Spice? How is that an apology for ruining people's New Year's Eve after showing up late and barely performing? Saying, "It takes a long time to look like a Barbie" is a slap in the face to fans who wasted their time and money. Honestly, if it were me, I'd rather she just made up an excuse. Tell me you were stuck in traffic, or your dressing room caught on fire. Anything. But this isn't it. Anyway, that's my TED Talk for today. I want to know, what would you guys do if you spent $350 on a ticket and the artist showed up 25 minutes late and barely performed? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Thanks for watching.